mental, pulling back to you. An unseen river flowing through the air, a quiet magnetism everywhere. You are the north and I am turning south. The words are forming in the river's mouth. The field is wrapping all around our souls, connecting both the distant lonely poles. The compass swings, the quiet sings. I am the cold, the invisible thread, the sweetest direction that I could be led. A river of devotion passing through the empty spaces just to get to you. Oiling the needle to point at your chest, the only location my spirit can rest. I am the duo, the invisible thread, the sweetest direction that I could be led. A river of devotion passing through the empty spaces just to get to you. Oiling the needle to point at your chest, the only location my spirit can rest. Two hands meeting, but they cannot overlap. A hidden asymmetry in the spatial gap. The same atoms arranged in a different way, but only one can survive the light of day. Light has a bias for the left-handed side, a gyro secret that we cannot hide. Amino acids and a twisted design, searching for the symmetry of your and mine. Rotating the light in a clockwise spin, where the mirror and the reality begin. A polarized choice in a molecular voice. We are the gyro symmetry, the mirror of soul. The opposite has that will never be whole. molecular rhyme. The reflection is perfect, but cannot be used. The logic of a mirror is always confused. The reflection is perfect, but cannot be used. The logic of a mirror is always confused. We are the gyrosymmetry from mirror of soul. The opposite has that will never be whole. Locked in the geometry of a lopsided heart. Knowing the reflection is a world apart. And it lands me on the pulse and the helix of time. A mathematical rhythm, a molecular rhyme. We are the gyrosymmetry, the mirror of soul. The opposite halves that will never be whole. Locked in the geometry of a lopsided heart. Knowing the reflection is a world apart. And it lands me on the pulse and the helix of time. A mathematical rhythm, a molecular rhyme. Asymmetry. Neuro. Helix. Gyro. You have the heavy sorrow in your room, a concentrated silence and a quiet gloom. I was the water waiting at the gate to wash the heavy burdens of your fate. I slip across the boundary of your skin to let the healing of the flood begin. The membrane yields, the currents intertwine. I pour my open spirit into thine. The pressures ease like whispers in the trees. I am the osmosis, the equal time. Pouring my love until the tears subside. A steady river seeking to align the lonely places of your heart with mine. Finding a balance in the deepest sea to bring partial shade. Yourself this promise that the water made. Not locking tightly in a rigid cage, but gently holding to the turning age. A temporary touch that pulls us near, washing away the boundaries and the fear. The network forms across the liquid plain, a million tiny tethers in the rain. The attraction holds as the sea unfolds. I am the hydrogen bomb, the gentle grace, holding the ocean in a soft embrace. A river of devotion, weak but true. The cumulative force of me and you. We break and form 1,000 times a day, but never let the water slip away. It takes a village of these quiet ties to build the lakes, reflecting back the skies. I hold your hand without a heavy chain, a voluntary link inside the. I am the hydrogen bomb, the gentle grace, holding the ocean in a soft embrace. A river of devotion, weak but true. The cumulative force of me and you. We're breaking from 1,000 times a day, but never let the water slip away. Tether, water, we sat together in the quiet room. A dormant chemistry inside the gloom. We have the pieces for a blazing fire, but lack the courage for the true desire. Until you reached and gently touched my hand and sparked the greatest heat in all the land. The barrier is broken, pushed aside, releasing all the energy inside. The reaction burst. tipping point of every hidden dream. I was a ghost of every different choice, a thousand echoes of a lonely voice, existing everywhere and nowhere to. Before I found the solid gaze of you. Shadows fell and broke the solitary wandering spell. The wave collapses in your loving eyes, removing the uncertainty and lies. The truth is known like a carved and ancient stone. slide into a deeper groove. The trajectory bends, and the straightness says, I am the refraction, the altered way, entering your water from the day, a river of devotion bending deep, finding the promises I wanna keep, slowing my speed to match your gentle tide with nowhere for the scattered light to hide. A prison breaking open all the white, revealing all the rainbows in the night. I never knew the spectrum of my soul until you bent the light to make me whole. I am the refraction, the altered way, entering your water from the day, a river of devotion bending deep, finding the promises I wanna keep, slowing my speed to match your gentle tide with nowhere for the scattered light to hide. Prism, bend, spectrum. We started beating in a different time, a broken rhythm and a scattered rhyme. But as I placed my pendulum by yours, we found the magic that the heart endures. The swinging knot began to slowly match a perfect harmony that we could catch. The frequencies are learning how to blend, a beautiful canyon separates the cliff, a momentary waiting, frozen still. The signal rushes to the very edge, preparing for the leap across the ledge. The chemicals release into the void, a messenger that cannot be destroyed. The receptors open on the other shore, welcoming the signal through the door. The connection sparks in the neural dark. Redrawing every border on the map, a thought of love that fires across the deep, a sacred memory the heavens keep. heavy earth is pulling everything, but I can hear the narrow vessel sing. A gentle touch against the solid wall, answering a higher, sweeter call. Defying gravity to reach the sky, climbing to where the solar shadows lie. The adhesion pulls the water to the brim, following the surface and the rim. The ascent is slow in the afterglow. I am the capillary, rising grace, finding a way to elevate the space. A river of devotion climbing high, where all the solitary limits die. Drawn by the love that coats the inner vein, rising above the heavy pouring rain. I am the capillary, rising grace, finding a way to elevate the space. A river of devotion climbing high, where all the solitary limits die. Drawn by the love that coats the inner vein, rising above the heavy pouring rain. We push against the barriers of the heart, where natural defenses want to part. But when we cross the microscopic line, the strongest forces in the world align. We lock together in a solid core and promise we will never wander more. The massive energy begins to exact direction that you go. A spin of light reflecting in your eyes, across the endless velvet of the skies. The distance fades, the universe is small. I hear the whisper of your silent call. The cord is tight, with nothing left to inside the story told until I found the orbit of your sphere. And suddenly the chaotic world was clear. We share the energy to make us strong, a perfect place where both of us belong. The outer layers finally overlap, erasing the divide and bridging the gap. The balance holds far too weak, we're swimmers in the pool. A heavy gravity we both provide, with nowhere for the mutual pull to hide. We dance around a middle point of space, a perfect energy, a metric race. The focal point is resting in between, an anchor that is totally unseen. The orbit turns as the starlight burns. Cosmic sea